5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We live in a country in which building a brand has never been more important. Sometimes just saying the name of a company can evoke images, sometimes good, sometimes bad. What do you think of when you hear the word Apple, Microsoft, Starbucks, or Nike, right? That's coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Report. A branding expert is going to teach us all how to build our own brand.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home. We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network. We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. As the owner of a PR and marketing firm, I'm fascinated with branding. As we look out over the landscape, you can see that some companies' brands are on the way up and some companies' brands are on the way down. To talk about that today, a branding expert, Patti Reilly. She is a beauty, lifestyle, and brand expert. Thank you for joining us, Patti.
I am delighted to be here. Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Well, you have a fascinating and I think very glamorous background. Can you tell us about your work with QVC?
Yeah, you bet. I was a girl with a dream who was dubbed most talkative in high school and really wasn't considered to ever amount to much, to be honest. And I went to University of Rhode Island and I got into speech communications, which a lot of people assume would lead to your field, journalism. But I realized very early on that I wanted to take the merry heart hosting approach, smiling all the time, as opposed to being the bearer of not such good news. So when the QVC auditions came up, I'd never had any TV background, but I went and I auditioned, submitted a headshot that was a Polaroid picture of me, standing alongside news anchors and professional journalists, much like yourself. But, you know, they were looking for the girl next door. And I happened to be, I guess, I fit the bill, so I got hired.
Products do you estimate that you worked with over the course of your QVC career?
Oh gosh, I would say a minimum of over 50,000 products that I've worked with over the years. And I probably worked with over 10,000 guests, for sure.
Wow. Okay. So, and then you took all of that life experience and you built a business around it. Let's talk about your business.
I did. Well, I find it interesting because you speak journalism and I like to say I speak fluent consumer. Because one of the things that you know, being on live TV, lots of times I only had 10 or 15 minutes to meet with a guest before going out on the air and having them sell their product in 8 minutes. For people who have built their dreams and put their investment, their heart and soul in their brand, 8 minutes is daunting. So I had to learn very quickly to build a relationship of trust with the guest or the vendor and also with the viewer at home that was watching. So that's why I say I speak fluent consumer, because I get to the heart and soul of what your product does for the person at home. People want outcomes. You were mentioning before, you brought up the iconic name Starbucks. And, you know, some people might not know this, maybe some of the millennials, but Starbucks didn't invent coffee, Jeff. They just gave us a new experience of coffee.
Yes. No, I think, and you're no stranger to the television studio. We've got some pictures off of your Facebook page. You frequently will go back into the different home shopping networks and work with clients on their product, won't you?
I do. That's actually an image of me from Wayfair just last November. They were taking some of their concepts of selling online to help minimize returns, which I thought was a great idea. I had a blast doing that. I can't get away from TV. I think we're similar in that vein, Jeff. I love it. I just thrive when that light comes on, and I enjoy connecting to so many people. So there I am with a beauty brand. I just recently represented Snow, the teeth whitening company. So I do like to still be part of the pulse of what's going on, because I learned so much from both young and experienced entrepreneurs and business owners. And so I feel like that helps keep me relevant and on my toes as a branding expert on what types of advice I can dispense to people that want to coach with me.
Absolutely, and I love it that you're turning this all into a book. You showed me earlier an author's copy, so will we soon be able to get the book? Hold it up for us.
Yes, you bet. And this is very different than your traditional business book, because what it does is it actually breaks down into individual exercises and strategies. And I built in a lot of my secrets in here. And one of them is brand DNA. And I've taken the acronym DNA and I've broken it down into 3 easy steps. Discover and determine who you are. You have to get super clear on that stage. That's the most important amount of time you'll be spending, is in the discover stage. Then narrate is telling the story, which I know we hear a lot about. I don't know if you're familiar with Donald Miller's story brand, but I think a lot of people misinterpret what story means. Story for me means telling the customer's story more than your own. And then finally, the last one is attract, and that's how to attract your ideal audience. So I tried to help navigate and create and get rid of the whole Cheesecake Factory menu of branding advice and really funnel it so that it's very, very clear and concise.
Powerful. So give some advice to my audience. If they're, let's say they're a CPA firm and they're thinking about a brand refresh, what would your advice be?
Well, for sure, I think it is mission and vision statements are huge. They're not just an, oh, by the way. So depending on, what your promise is to the customer, what your promise is to your team, where you want to be in 1 year from now, and where you want to be in 5 years from now will help you get really clear on your message delivery. So I think that's a big piece. I also think that you need to know who your target audience is. I had somebody once who was selling anti-aging skincare, and I have them fill out a form. And when it came to their demographic, they put 18 to 50. Well, I'm 49, so I was thinking, oh, shoot, I guess I'll be out in a year. And then I'm also thinking of my niece who's 20, and I don't know that she'd be thrilled about buying the same skincare product that her Aunt Patty's using. So sometimes it's not a good idea to really broaden your audience, because then your message gets diluted. The more you can hone in on who it is. So for anti-aging skincare, as the example, 35 and over, you target your message so much more impactfully by creating content that connects. So I would say to figure out who your audience is for sure and target your message to them.
That's great advice. I'm also a big fan of your social media skills, because I was on, and I want to show some video, because you're always doing really cool things in the kitchen, and I'd like you to kind of describe for us what we're watching in this video. I'm trying to remember what fruit it was, or what vegetable it was. There we go. What were you doing there?
Oh, it's a spaghetti squash, Jeff.
Oh, got it. Okay. You can tell. You can tell I'm not a gourmet.
I am not either. And in fact, I had picked up the wrong vegetable when I had done the pre-shopping video that you missed, which is a good thing. But I did not know a spaghetti squash from an acorn squash. That's a spaghetti squash. And I was just having some fun demonstrating my novice skills in the kitchen. I'm a natural coach. I love to interact with people through the camera. So this is just kind of fun for me.
And I love that, because I think you give your fans a chance to see the real you, not the TV spokesperson. But I imagine that's kind of a way to let your hair down and just be really transparent with your fans.
It is, and I think that's one of the things, like I mentioned before, that I have learned being in the branding industry is it's just as important, and I'm sure you've realized it too. People love seeing behind the scenes.
Yes.
They love that, like taking a tour of your studio, or, Jeff prepping for a show. I noticed that the more I was involving them in those types of processes, and down to what I eat for dinner and what I make for dinner, they like it. They enjoy it.
Okay, we're almost out of time, so I want you to talk to the business owner who does not think branding is important. Oh, who needs branding? Talk to that
Everybody.
person.
Branding is the single most important thing you can do for your business. It's more important than marketing. Marketing is the vehicle that carries it out to the world. Branding is what identifies you from one brand to the other. And if you're not careful, your consumers are going to identify and define your brand for you. And I don't know that I'd want to take that risk. So take part in shaping consumer perception. That's what branding is all about. It's your voice, your tone, your look, your logo, and also, of course, your messaging, Jeff.
Wow, this has been a great segment. We're going to have you back soon. We're going to put your website up so everybody can get in touch with you. Website is thepattireilly.com. Please get in touch with her for all your branding, lifestyle, and beauty needs. Thanks again, Patti. You've been wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.